Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 426 of Pixels and Ink, the official podcast of CGMagazine. I am not your host, Krista Hoog. I'm Dana Eileen, and I'm here with our editor in chief, Brendan Fry,
Hello there, Dana.
and the newest of our staff, Justin Wood.
Hello.
Boy, so today we have a special bonus episode. Brendan, Justin, and I were on the ground at Summer Game Fest, the Xbox Bethesda Showcase, which is also the Starfield Direct, and Ubisoft Forward, among other things. So we wanted to talk about some of the things that we had hands-on with, some of our impressions being live and in person, and what better way to do that than a special bonus Saturday podcast / Sunday, depending on when this goes on the interwebs. Yeah?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Absolutely.
All right. I'm glad you're super pumped. So
Woo.
I think Brendan and I have said this a few times, but let's talk a little bit about our general impressions. Justin, this was your first big event, right?
This was just the first event,
Just
at
the
all.
first event?
So
Wow. Okay.
Ever. You've never been to anything in your life.
no, it
He's
just it
never
feels like
left-
that. It feels like
He's
that.
never left the green room. Uh, all right. So what did you think at Summer Game Fest? Is it what you expected? Is it a yay, a nay?
Yeah. It feels from what I gathered, it was one of the better run events. I've heard horror stories of other ones that just kind of seemed to be put together with duct tape at the last minute. This one seemed
Yeah.
mostly like concise. It really knew what it wanted to be, and everything was like all in one place, which was nice.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, it was fun.
It was fun. You weren't at all terrified the whole time?
Oh, I was. I absolutely. I'm incredibly introverted, so that part was scary. When I had to show up on my own for like an hour or two, that was scary. But I just ate
I
some.
hate that. I hate
I just
going
ate some
anywhere by
pitas and
myself.
was good though. So
Yeah, you're good then.
Pitas, that was the solution. All right. I like it. I absolutely hate going anywhere by myself. Brendan is my safety net. I mean, I can do it. I just don't want to, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I think that's fair. Brendan, how did you feel about the event this year? We were at the first live one last year.
I think this one was bigger, but it still managed to keep that kind of flow that we kind of got last year. It doesn't feel as empty.
Yeah.
Last year, I felt after a day, we're like, well, we're done. Guess we're just going to wander around now.
Yeah, I agree. Last year, the second day, we were just using our sweet drink tickets, and
That sounds crazy because I feel like like this year it was I had to cancel an appointment to eat lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now you were there for a few different sites. You weren't just there for us. So like
Yes.
you may have wanted to see a little more than you could have. But yeah, I'd agree. Brendan and I, even the last day, especially with some places taking us to like long appointments off site, we
Yeah.
were like, well, I didn't get to see this. Didn't get to see this.
I honestly wish this event went one day longer. It was like a 3-day event and just kind of allowed to space things out just based on how many things were there. And one more day just kind of spread out a bit would have made sure we had time for lunch, had time to write during the event, and actually make it a little bit more streamlined. As it was, it felt kind of crunched, which
So
can
do
be
you
good for some
think-
things, but
So do you think next year they will try to push for that extra day? I mean, it keeps. I mean, everybody keeps joking about the what is it like key 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, even if they did like a day and a half, I'd be good. Like
Yeah.
went to like from 10 to 3 on the third day and then done. I'd be totally
And that
fine
give
with
people time to tear down and all that stuff. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, most of the Comic Cons we go to, the last day is usually the Sunday.
Yeah.
And it's usually over at like 5 compared to the 8 or 9. But if you're there at like 2, you're like, well, that booth's gone. All right.
Yeah. So I mean, if they did something like that, I think it would actually work. Like right now, it went. What was it till 5 each night? Is that right?
Yeah, it's 5 each day. Well, ish,
Well,
between 5 and
8,
6.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I
74
feel if it
hours.
went like one day longer, like a half day, I think that would have been perfect for the amount of things they were showing. If they add more things, who knows? But I think it was a good amount of stuff
Yeah.
in relation to everything. And I think it would, to have like a little bit more time, would have allowed journalists to not just kind of crunch everything in. Because I know a lot of people missed lunch or bringing giant pizzas with them to their meetings. So
Yeah. You know what I would even think is cool, and I don't know, it could be chaos, but do the 2 days of appointments
Mhm.
and then do the 3rd day, no appointments,
Yeah.
just walk-ups only.
that'd be neat.
That'd be
Um,
interesting.
I know that I want to say it was one of the Day of the Devs groups. They made sure every hour they had one empty appointment so that they
Okay.
could fit people in. I know that there were last year and this year companies that we didn't even know had games.
Yeah.
Like this year, I believe I can say this. Armored Core was there, and we didn't know until we got there, and that's with judging the event.
Yeah.
So, I think a last day of a little bit of chaos, but a bit of like, hey, can I? I think that'd be cool.
Agreed.
You heard it here first, folks. It was all me. What are you drinking now? Oh God, is that weird
The weird one.
pixie stick? Bam.
Impulse
No,
energy.
just calling it bam and no crash. You're definitely gonna crash,
it's
just so you know. Definitely gonna crash. Although here's me and Team Monster. See, this is the green one I was talking about. I fed Justin and Brendan alcohol with Monster in it in LA, and nobody was happy with me. This one's really good though. Like,
Well, hold
you
on. You're
can't-
saying
was
that's
fun.
green though.
It's teal.
teal.
Okay. I just
Teal. There is a green one too. This is teal. It's Ultra Fiesta Mango. I don't really like mangoes, but I like this, and it hides the vodka.
I love the flavor of mango. Mangoes themselves can get out of here, but
Little too fleshy.
like
You know, like
fake
fleshy
fake
fruit?
mango is delicious.
Fango.
Yeah.
Fango.
Okay.
I like it.
Cool.
I accept.
And what about the showcases? I know.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about that?
What about them?
Well, do you like them?
Well, which one? What are we talking about? The Summer Game Fest one?
Let's
You're still
let's
there.
start with the Summer Game Fest one.
Okay, so Summer Game Fest. I've said this before, but I was pumped to be there. Like, I was really excited. It's always a lot of fun, that energy in the crowd.
Yep.
I found Summer Game Fest was a little bit more industry than fans.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So it wasn't when we did the Game Awards were completely packed. There were like fans sitting around me. The devs for God of War were sitting in front of me. Like, there was energy. I would say there was less energy and a little bit more snootiness. Like, there definitely weren't as big of screams and cheers unless you saw me look at anything. So there's that. But also, I feel like Summer Game Fest started off really strong and then just kind of was there. Like, it felt like even with Spider-Man toward the end with the release date, it kind of felt like they weren't supposed to do that there. Like, it felt like maybe they were supposed to do that at PlayStation and they took it out. And then we're just kind of like, okay, here's the thing. There you go, Jeff. Bye.
I think it was an interesting showcase. The fact that it did have some really strong reveals
Like
and
Nick
some really big people on stage, but it also had a lot of, I'd say, bill pay type ads.
Chuff, basically. A lot of
They-
chuff in
they-
the middle there.
Yeah.
They felt like, oh, this company probably has all the money in the world, but I also don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of weird mobile games and a lot of weird like free to play stuff that I understand needs to be there because it does pay to use that theater and probably pay for part of Summer Games Fest. It's just, I'm sure most people, those were not the games people were most excited for.
I think they could have done with maybe even like a better flow, like mixing those kinds of games in with the bigger titles, because I mean, it was a really strong start, and then you felt the energy in that room just like drop to zero.
Yeah. I
And
feel they could have
everybody
like
was
done
just
something.
like, just like fighting their way to get to the end.
And I'm wondering if that's because it was more industry than public, though, because the smaller games or the less popular games, let's say, so not Mortal Kombat, they're gonna get a smaller reaction out of us probably, but you always have your like little niche fans that'll be in there and they will not hold back.
Yeah.
So like there are times I'm like, oh, this game matters. Okay, cool. Because we're us, we're in our own little group.
Yeah,
We
absolutely.
probably like a lot of the same things, or at least know about a lot of the same things. But then you get people, it's like looking on the internet. Why did that video blow up? Holy crap, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I can see that.
So I think that was kind of my issue with it. And like I said before, Nick Cage coming out almost at the beginning of the showcase is really cool and great. But that was an announcement everybody already knew about. It was leaked. Then it had an embargo. Then it was announced. And then now it's announced again. But to have someone like Nick Cage on the stage right at the beginning, like, I was like, well, what's coming later? Like, who else is here?
I
Tell
feel
me
it
more.
was front loaded a bit. I feel they could have like, it didn't really have a close. I guess they did was it Final Fantasy? As a closer?
I popped off for Final Fantasy. So
Right.
But I feel it was like the middle section just had nothing in it. It had like you had the Nick Cage thing, you had the Mortal Kombat thing, you had the Spider-Man thing. Lots of trailers for random things, like the trailers for I guess Marvel Snap was in the middle, but it didn't have any
The
like
Witcher.
big hit. Oh yeah, I guess that was that was that
Oh, and
beginning
don't
or
forget
middle
about Twisted Metal, the best looking TV show ever.
Yeah,
with the weird like cameo, like it looks like paid cameo from Will Arnett that looked like he did not put any effort into his
he looked
appearance.
like he had seen some things. Like he looked like he physically came out of that show and was like, "Oh my god, guys, it's over. This is how it ends." He was a mess.
He did not look ready for a showcase. Let's say that.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, did I?
Yeah.
Did I though? Also. But I don't know. It was fun. It was exciting to be there. That was the first time that
Yep.
we were at the showcase too. Last year, the showcase wasn't like in person.
Okay.
It was just online. So that was new. So maybe they'll sort that out. If there's anything Jeff likes, it's trailers. So
Yes, he does love those trailers.
he does. I do like that he was just standing in the middle of the stage during some
Like
of
when
them.
when all the like the black
Yep.
happened, you could just like see his little
A
outline.
little,
Like
a little
okay.
Jeff Keighley in the middle. I'm like, just duck. Just duck, or maybe like, all right, that's cool. Yeah, that's how I'm feeling about that one. But then from there, oh god, what happened? So we were supposed to have the mix. That didn't happen. All
That
the
was a
indie
mess.
games.
Mhm.
Yep.
We talked about that on Thursday or Friday,
Yep.
depending on when you listened to this. So that was a big old mess. And then we went on to the Xbox showcase.
Yeah.
The Xbox Game Showcase and Starfield Direct. That was like 47 hours. So
Yeah,
it felt
it felt like it. Oh my god.
I think the Starfield segment could have been 30 minutes and it would have been just fine.
I think
the full
so I'm excited for Starfield. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people who are, but it just felt like, okay, like save some of this for us to explore and find
yeah,
out.
it felt a lot of we need to sell this thing. People
Yeah.
are really not sure about this game. Put everything we could
But
possibly
you
say
know
about this
what?
game.
I bet part of that also came from PlayStation stealing their thunder a little bit. Like just to focus back on the actual Xbox showcase, not the Starfield part. They PlayStation did them dirty. They did them dirty. And I think that Xbox did a really good job of still bringing it. I think a lot of people.
I didn't hear about the PlayStation stuff. What did they do?
Oh, okay. So right, like the week before Summer Game Fest, PlayStation all of a sudden was like, "Hey, we have a showcase right now, go!" And everybody's like, "Oh, okay, I guess this is
but it
happening."
wasn't a
And
good
then they
showcase.
announced most of the things
Oh,
Xbox
yeah.
also had to announce. So if you watched Xbox's socials that night, they were like, "Oh, hey, we're getting this game too. Oh, hey, we're getting this game too."
I found something interesting just reading just before this podcast. A lot of the Atlas stuff they announced, like Persona and that weird game I'm not going to be able to pronounce, and the other one, Persona 5.
Yeah.
Those are coming to PlayStation. There's an embargo that prevents Atlas from saying so.
It's weird.
Because they don't want it. They don't want those things to be like, oh, they're all, because those are known for being PlayStation titles, so they don't want to take the vendor away and say, oh, I can just buy them on PlayStation. They don't need Xbox at all. So they have an embargo where they're not allowed like advertising the fact that it's coming to PlayStation as well.
That's weird.
It is
Very
weird.
Well, yeah, those also leaked too. So
Which
like,
sucks
so weird.
because that like, as a JRPG fan,
nerd was
yeah,
what you meant.
I know.
Sorry.
It's okay. I'm okay with it. Those would have hit. I mean, they still did during the showcase, but those would have hit really hard for the Persona fans if they hadn't leaked. Like that would have been our moment to shine because Persona gets a lot of love, but
it's a series that
yeah,
people. It's a weird series.
it's a weird series, but
side note, I'm surprised. 3 is one I really like, but it is also the one that's the least family friendly in so many ways.
Yes, I mean
like,
the whole mechanic is shooting yourself in the head.
Yes.
like
you hold a gun to your head to bring out your persona, and I'm like, oh, that's a choice. Cool.
Well, apparently, it's also not the like full version. It's just because like Persona is known for like getting released, and then 6 months later to a year later, they come out with a different version of that game, which just has like
for 5, it was Royale.
Yeah, exactly. Apparently, this is just like the base version, not even the expanded version that
That's kind of weird to remaster.
Yeah, I mean they're not including like the female protagonist either. Like there's a lot of weird decisions made around this remake,
and it's one of the ones that is most loved. I think I guess 3 is one people have been asking for a main console remake for a while. I know 4 got one, and I'm surprised.
And they
that
never
it took
stop
them-
releasing 5, so I
No,
guess.
5 will be released forever.
It's like Skyrim.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, the point to that was I feel like Xbox was a little dirty. Maybe I'm a little biased because I am an Xbox girl. But between the PlayStation and then the Persona announcements and all that, I think a lot of people went into that wondering what they had left, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
Obviously, I was sandwiched between you two, and you both saw me cry at
Mhm.
Fable. That
Yep.
definitely happened. Definitely happened. So they did start off really strong, but I
Mhm.
feel like Xbox did a few things better than Summer Game Fest did, and Ubisoft. I think they came out the gate swinging, but I also don't think it died down the same way. It may have for me personally, but like Justin, you had a bunch of things that you were pumped about.
Well,
You
exactly.
had
They
all
had
those things,
something
right?
for everybody.
They did, and I feel like that. But again, there were fans there, so maybe that was part of it. Like I felt like the
Yeah.
energy in the room stayed high.
The theater was mostly filled with Xbox like super fans. So I do wonder how much of that energy was for the actual games and not just for the fans. Because I look back at those trailers, I'm like, oh, okay, that happened, I guess. Cool, sure.
Yeah, but you hate everything.
No, I don't. I mean, like, also a lot of the games that announced at that showcase were multi-platform, same as PlayStation. They just, made it sound like it wasn't.
Yeah, I guess. I don't really have a concept of what's multi-platform and what's not.
Yeah.
I just know that I will play it on Xbox or Switch. I also play Switch, and I do have a PC. Oh, I have the ROG Ally now.
Oh my god, how is it?
It's a learning curve. Okay,
Okay.
this is off topic. It's a learning curve. It's in my bag in the other room. Every once in a while, like when I'm in menus, the controls will stop working, so I've got to figure out what's going on there. But I think it'll be good. I think it'll be like I was trying to use the Razer Edge before, and this has me sold because it's its own little computer rather than I can only play stuff when my other computer's on. So I dove into some Park Beyond last night. I started Roots of Pasha, which I want to get into from Summer Game Fest last year. Holla. Why did I say holla? I'm so
I
sorry.
don't know. You're very white.
I'm so sorry. Anyway, so that might be a thing. Anyway, off topic. Why did I say that? Anybody know why I was talking about
It's
that?
cool.
Just wanted to share.
It's new.
It's
It's cool. It's
multi-platform.
new. So yeah, whatever.
Oh, multi-platform. Yeah. So I might get into some more PC stuff. Although I realized that I have Xbox Game Pass, but I don't have PC Game Pass. So I'm a little annoyed that they're not the same thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like in my head, I feel like they should be, but maybe that's just because I'm cranky.
I
feel
think
like
it's
if you
like
have one.
maybe $1 more. Like it's not a crazy jump in price.
Yeah, it's only like a few dollars more to make it so it's both systems.
Yeah, it just like that's what when I logged in, that's what was available to me. It was like my Xbox game library and my PC game library. And I'm like, but I don't have PC games because I hate sitting over here. And then I was all cozy in my couch. Anyway, off topic. Sorry, I have that effect on things.
You're good.
The other thing that I want to say that Xbox did a lot better, which may be easier for me to talk about than my two large white men. If you remember after Summer Game Fest, a lot of people were really talking about diversity, whether that be gender or race or otherwise. And Xbox right out the gate did better. I'm sure it can always be better, but it did better between the people speaking. Like Starfield, we had women, we had Sarah Bond on stage, we had people of color. I don't want to assume anyone's like sexuality, but I assume they did better there too. I don't know. But right out the gate, like in the first 2-3 trailers, with even just characters in games, I could see that they were doing better. Always room for improvement, but it was nice to see something other than people that look like you two.
No, understandably so. I mean,
you guys are cute and all, but yeah. So I think that Xbox was doing a little better. Even in the Starfield Direct, we heard a lot from women on the team, and that's something. That's something. Anything else you want to talk about for the Xbox showcase itself? We can talk about the Fan Fest. If anybody went down to that,
I did. I did go down to the Fan Fest.
We did too, but I think we went like when it was pretty much over.
Oh, did you get
Did
you get the pungent feeling when the elevator
I
doors opened as well?
I did
I feel the Xbox showcase really died down pretty quick. The FanFest died down pretty quickly because we went down there only an hour or so after everything was going on, and it was people just kind of like sitting down doing nothing. Like no one was really playing anything. It was
Last year when we went, like it was shoulder to shoulder. We had to kind of dodge our ways through.
Oh,
Now,
wow,
mind you,
okay.
I think we went right away after
Mhm.
last year, but like there's food and there's drink, like normal drinks, not the alcoholic kind. Last year there was a place where you could buy merch, which is
Yeah.
where I got my sweet Xbox hoodie that I wear all the time. Brendan got his nails done. He got
Yep.
Forza nails last
They're pretty
year.
good. Pretty good.
They did have a cyberpunk area where you can get all like cyberpunked out there.
Yeah, I saw that. So a little bit of makeup. Last year we had like a Diablo picture,
Yeah.
which by the way sits in my bedroom, and we look ridiculous. We both like very like why. But I don't know. It seemed kind of chill. Like not like I said, I didn't even see a place to buy merch. I know they had a place you could order that jacket,
Yeah,
which
you
I
could,
kind of want.
which
for
weird
some
because you had to get a special code, then you could order the jacket for full price. I'm
That's
like,
weird.
all right.
Yeah,
Cool.
so I did see the like merch booth, but they
Yep.
didn't really seem like they had a lot.
Oh, there was a merch booth.
Yeah, it was like out. It was on one of the terraces outside.
Okay.
By
Yeah,
the
it was
like
last
little.
year too, but we didn't see it.
Well, so that's the thing is like you could kind of see how much like stock they had,
Yeah.
and for a fan fest, you would assume that they would expect to
Yeah.
sell a lot.
Yeah.
And they didn't really have
That
a
much.
lot to sell.
I wish I would have seen that because I are a fan. That's disappointing, but
Yeah.
kind of cool. And then yeah, I guess from there we had the Starfield Direct, which you guys kind of touched on.
Yeah.
Justin, you're excited for the game. Were you excited for it before this already though? Like, are you a Bethesda
So
guy?
I am mostly a Bethesda apologist. I understand
Okay.
that they are buggy as hell, and no matter how many times they say this is going to be the game with the least amount of bugs, I still expect to have like clipping through the doors and falling through the worlds happen all the time.
Yeah.
I don't think I've had that in Bethesda games. Have I? Which
I definitely
ones?
have.
I don't.
Fallout 4 was a bad one.
Yeah, it
Really?
really was. It was messy.
Yeah.
I think it's the fact that there's such big worlds that have such procedural generation that no matter what they do, something's
there's
going to
be
break.
something, but
Yeah.
I am glad that they're going into this with the mindset of like, okay, people know our games are buggy, so we need to say something. And I know there's the whole like people are angry about the 30 frames per second stuff, but I mean that doesn't really bother me. If I'm being honest.
Not
like,
in a game like this. You're not.
Yeah,
exactly.
it's not a fast-paced shooter or anything like that. So if it's slightly slower, whatever. It's not Forza. If it was Forza at 30 seconds, I might be upset.
Or something even competitive, like
Yeah.
okay, but yeah, that's not really a problem for me. I have a feeling. I don't know. I played Skyrim and Oblivion. Those probably weren't more than 30 frames per second,
No,
so
God,
I'm
no.
good.
Well, and that's
I'm
the thing
good.
is, it's if it runs at 30 frames per second, but it runs, then okay, I'll take it. Like I'll take whatever I can get, right?
Yeah, but maybe that's a bad sign. Maybe that sentence is a problem in itself. Yeah, I think I'm interested. It's a little bit intimidating for me. And I love me a big game. Like I play Elder Scrolls Online, I play World of Warcraft. I mean, when I had time, I played those games. And again, like I said, Skyrim, I played Fallouts, I played the Mass Effects. I like me a big game, but this one seems like it
seems
big
and
intimidating. It feels like I'm a completionist, so I like to see, you get it, right? Yeah, like that's very much me, and I like to do it like in order. I'm kind of insane is what I'm getting at. Yeah, so I'm curious. I didn't really care about Starfield before. But then we sat through, the world's longest direct. Usually like 20 minutes for a game direct. That's
I feel that's all you need. I mean,
that's it. Other than that, it's,
I felt like it did repeat itself quite a bit. They're like, and now we're talking about the world again. Oh, back to the world's being really big. I'm like, all right, yep, I know that. That's cool.
And again, part of that is probably us being us.
Our own butts. It's okay. You can
yeah. No, we suck a little bit, and we know that. And I think fans know that we suck a little bit too. So yeah, like Brendan, when was the last time you got really pumped about a game? When was the last time you squealed in public about a game?
I don't think I ever squealed in public.
Yeah, that doesn't really seem like you, right?
I have an easy answer. Final Fantasy. Anytime Final Fantasy shows up, I'm like, oh, yay!
Crying. Brendan's like, what is wrong with you two? He spent a long week with us, guys. It was a long week. Brendan was a good sport. Yeah, I don't know, man. I want to play it, but I probably won't buy it.
Well, it's day one on Game Pass.
Game Pass.
Ah,
Yeah.
crap. They're gonna do it for like a month, so you get like just enough in that you're invested, and then they're gonna rip it off Game Pass. We're all gonna have to.
I could see that, to be honest.
God damn, that's how they get you.
There were a few things that I'm surprised we didn't hear about at all.
Okay.
What?
Perfect Dark was announced in 2019.
I don't think that game's ever coming out.
Yeah, either do I, unfortunately. Anything from like BioWare.
Well, BioWare is EA, so EA could just be saving it for something you do.
Well, EA is in the middle of Immortals.
Yes,
right.
They are.
I always get worried when they announce like Dragon Age titles and then we don't hear about them for years. Because that's usually when
I
the
think
axe
that's
comes.
happening in order right now, because we've known about Starfield forever. We know about Elder Scrolls 6, but I haven't seen anything from that. Then we've got Dragon Age, which we briefly heard about, but haven't got anything from that, and then Fable. Yeah. So we've got 2 of 4 so far.
And they announced a new Mass Effect. Like,
yes. So yeah, like these are happening. You know what I just found last night on the ROG Ally, by the way? I forgot that I have Mass Effect Andromeda for PC.
Oh wow, okay.
I have not been able to get into that game. I need to try it. I'll give it another chance.
Mass Effect in general, or that one specifically?
Oh, that one specifically. I love Mass Effect.
Me too. See, you really are. Yeah. He is Chris. Like
so,
I was
going to wear it today.
You guys are the same person.
I have a fantastic shirt that is Rex riding on top of Garrus's back, and it's a.
That is pretty great.
I
knew both those names. I usually forget
names.
So I usually forget names. So.
Yeah.
Now, when I met my partner. I was in like a transition life. I didn't have a video game system or anything, but I just bought a laptop and he bought me Mass Effect. He's like, you need to play video games again. You're miserable. So yeah, I forgot I had that. And then I have Sims 3 and 4, but 3? I didn't even, I guess I don't remember a time before 4. I just kind of, that's a band, a really bad one. I just kind of thought that we were just at 4. That's where it started. Anyway. That's my fun little fact. I don't know what's gonna happen. Like we've talked about Fable, and I'm so torn between like fighting for it and being like, no, you guys take it. I'll go buy it because I want to just play it. But I may have to quit my job if I'm just gonna play it.
I mean, that's fair.
So we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see. And you've got like how long until Final Fantasy? Like 5 minutes before that comes out?
Next Friday. So
so we won't see you for my children are neglected. It happens.
We'll see. It's gotten to a point where like I tried to get my kids to watch me play the demo, and immediately I was like, oh, people are getting their heads chopped off, and people are having
maybe this is not for
violent
kids.
Interactions of the sexual kind. So I will not let you guys watch this.
Yeah, okay. I'm good with violence with my kids, but that's about it.
So I am, but my kids are like, my son hates blood, but my daughter loves it. She's like, oh, yes, blood.
That
blood.
A girl. Okay,
yeah,
maybe
like,
keep an eye on
psychopath,
her.
And I love it.
Maybe keep an eye on her. Maybe. Cool. My son, I was pretty sure was like a sociopath for a while. He's 8, and like we had to put our dog down. He was like, oh, okay. All right, that's weird. But this is off topic again. He found a rat outside when he was taking the garbage out at my mom's apartment building, and it wasn't moving. And he came upstairs to tell me, he's like, I moved it, and blah, blah. I'm like, great. That's so good. I'm so glad you touched it. He broke. This poor little boy, his heart was just shattered about the fact that I couldn't save this rat. Like, it was the saddest thing in the world. I was like, I'm going to bring a rat home. Like, I'm going to go put it in a shoebox like I would have when I was 8, and there's going to be a rat in my house. But he woke up and it was gone. That's my story for today. Sure. Anyway, he acts like he is a complete sociopath, but every once in a while something gets him. So we're doing okay. He's got feelings. My daughter, I don't know. She's just pure evil. She's mine.
Yep.
She is mine through and through. Yeah, we're in trouble with that one. But yeah. Anyway, so from Xbox and Starfield, we then go on to Ubisoft Forward.
Yes.
Which I don't know what that felt like online for everybody.
So I watched it online.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's good.
It was weird. And I did not like it.
Cool. So I keep telling people it felt like I was at a high school talent show.
Yeah.
They
what's
opened up with the Just Dance people dancing, which okay, cool. They can absolutely dance better than me,
Yeah.
but it 100% felt like I was watching some kids on a stage at a school.
Yep.
Even with the way the stage looked, like maybe because we were coming from these massive showcases,
Yeah.
but we were in like a little room on folding chairs with like a little stage built up and some screens, poles in the way everywhere. By the way,
The
it
room was
just
not designed for that at all.
it just felt so low budget. Like
It really felt like last minute. We have to do something. Figure
Which
it out.
sucks because normally like Ubisoft has like such
Bonkers.
weird like
Yeah.
theatrical presence in these
Yeah,
events.
they usually when it was E3 based, they had it at the Orpheum, and they just had like a full big theater in LA, and they put on just a wild show. It's always dumb. It's always overly hot, and the Wi-Fi never works. But it looks impressive.
It didn't work here either.
No,
if
didn't
that
work.
counted, the Wi-Fi did not work. I will say, okay, for scale for you, Justin, it was smaller than the room that just the main part of Summer Game Fest was in.
Yep.
The entire
Really?
room was smaller than that.
Oh.
Yeah, there were a couple Assassin's Creed folk walking around.
Just walking around. They weren't doing anything, just walking
They
around.
were cool though, like there was something. And then yeah, there was the dance number that they opened up with.
Mhm.
And then for Skull and Bones, which had no announcements, there was just a shanty.
They are getting closed beta
Yeah,
at
that's true.
the end of August.
But we didn't get to see anything.
No, they just did a shanty.
They just did a shanty.
That was
Okay.
and an announcement. Yeah.
Yeah. So cool. Cool.
Yeah, that was odd.
It was. Yeah. I did not. It turns out I don't like Ubisoft games. I didn't.
Star Wars looks awesome. I'm just gonna say that.
We'll get into that.
Okay.
But what I was realizing, like, I'm really bad with companies. Like, I didn't realize until I think this week when we met Todd Howard. Brendan's like, no, that guy makes like every game you love. I'm like, does he really? And I looked and I'm like, oh, I like Bethesda. Who knew? Like, I never really thought I was, there's
Yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of people that are like Square Enix or whatever. I didn't really think I was one of those. I thought I was like, I love everyone. No, screw everybody. Only Bethesda. No, I never got into the Assassin's Creed games. I really don't like anything particularly traversal.
Yeah,
I don't
okay.
like parkour type games. I don't like platformers. I really struggle with mountains in Skyrim.
Mhm.
I had a horse for a while. There was good cheat. They could just jump up and it was good.
I do have one note just on this thing.
Yeah.
So they announced the price for this Assassin's Creed, and it's like $50 US for the regular edition, or $60 for the like deluxe. That seems cheaper than it usually is, doesn't it?
So I think it's because this one is more of because obviously Assassin's Creeds in the past have been getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And
Yeah,
like,
so we've got to
Valhalla
this one
is
down a
like,
bit.
yeah, so Valhalla is like insane. It's ridiculously big. No video game needs to be that big.
Yeah.
From what I understand, Mirage is
Starfield.
like, well, yeah, okay, yeah, that's fair. From what I understand, Mirage is like kind of taking a step back.
Yeah, they were talking about like bringing it back to basics is what they just said a few times.
Yeah, they said they're in Baghdad for this one, and they're comparing it in size to Paris in
Unity.
In Unity. So I didn't play the games. This is just the details.
Pretty big.
Is it? Yeah. Well, that's the size they compared it to.
So I guess it doesn't have this. Like I know in 2 it had whatever city that had sprawling landscapes you had to travel between cities, and
yeah, this seems to be one. I have a preview of it up on a different site. You can wait for Brendan's for CGMag. And there's some photos there of not the map, but like the land, if you will. And it looks pretty big to me. But right now we're getting games like Starfield, which is probably gonna be like $100 game Canadian anyway.
Yeah.
So American, that would still be like a $70 game.
Yeah,
true, but
it's
less than. It's less than so no, that's $60 deluxe. So 50 for the standard would be like 65, something like that Canadian.
That's a
like a mid-range title.
Yeah. But you know what? When you're banging out 37 of the same title at the same time,
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't think you can ask $100 for each one. You know,
that's fair.
It's it kind of makes me crazy.
There's a lot of them. I think this one looked good, but it looked really smooth. Like I think the action looked good, but Dana said it right when she was like talking about it at the show, where it doesn't look any better than past Assassin's Creed games. It looks like those looked great, And this also looks great, but it doesn't look like
Yeah.
a leap in generation.
This is going to be, if I'm mistaken, it's their second one for like next gen,
Yeah.
right?
Valhalla, I think, was the one that
Do
kind
we
of
need
like
to stop
Oh.
saying next gen now? Like,
current gen. I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
I think as long as they're
Ninth
still
gen.
making games for
for the PS4.
previous gen,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, the last group of games, so Valhalla in
Mm.
this case, they came out for
Both systems.
both, but primarily they're like, no one has this one yet, so we have to make sure it's
Yep.
good for this one.
yeah,
But now it's everybody has this one, and we should make sure it's okay for this one.
Yeah.
Is kind of how I feel,
Mhm.
and I feel like there wasn't that jump. I feel like there isn't
Interesting.
really much of a difference in terms of like graphic fidelity.
Honestly-
Ew, who just said that?
You.
Ugh, who am I?
I feel that since I'd say probably Unity as an example, I think the Assassin's Creed games haven't made massive leaps. Like that engine looked great for when the Xbox One and PS4 launched. It hasn't really improved as much as other things have.
Yeah.
In the, like,
Well, how about this? Like we already went through our showcases themselves. We can talk a little bit about our hands-on or at least our appointments. And one of them was Assassin's Creed Mirage, and we are indeed allowed to speak of it.
yeah.
So that being said, like he said, we were watching it, and I'm not I'm not the I need 60 frames per second
Yeah.
kind of person.
Yeah.
So sometimes when I think things look pretty, that's pretty enough for me, and other people will tear it apart. But like I said, Brendan did agree with me. He's like, no, you're right. It's good,
Yeah.
but like it's not better by any means.
Yeah.
And even so, we didn't get hands on with this one. We got to watch somebody do a playthrough of it.
Yes.
And as I mentioned, I do not like the parkour. That's just a personal
Mhm.
thing. I am bad at it, and that's it. But there were some issues with some little glitches when they were doing some of the assassinations. You kind of like they didn't line up right, and there's months to go before the game
Yeah,
comes out. I'm
absolutely.
sure these
Yeah,
are things that'll get tidied up, but it just didn't. I think if you're a big fan of the game
Mhm.
or of the franchise, I guess I think it'll be okay for you. But if you're someone who's, played the last ones 10,000 times and you're looking for something fresh,
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to work out. If you're new
Yeah.
to it, I think it'll work out. But if you're looking for something to like change the game for you because you put a
Mhm.
gajillion hours into Valhalla, which I heard a lot of people have done,
Yep.
then I think it might just be more of the same. And if you're going from this massive scale, you said Valhalla's huge.
Valhalla's
Oh, yeah.
massive.
So if you're going from that down to this little, it
It does
to
feel
me
like
that would feel like an expansion, but
Okay, interesting.
without your progress. I don't know. That's just
I think they did like I think the combat's been improved in this
Yeah.
one. Valhalla kind of had a more raw combat, I guess you'd describe it as. It was more like you're Vikings, you do Viking things.
Yeah.
yeah.
This one feels more subtle, a little bit more like stealthy in the way they're doing things. Like more like the new mechanic where you can basically plan your moves ahead, and you're just so good that it looks like you're stopping time. It looked cool and
No, it is. It's a slow time ability.
yeah, I think it looked really good.
So you can chain assassinations back to back to back.
I think that looked
Okay,
good.
interesting.
It
That was
much,
where the graphic thing was.
yeah, I think much more
Surprise.
fluid in combat there. Beyond that, I don't. If you just wanted more Assassin's Creed, it is that. It doesn't look.
They have again, I've watched a lot of Assassin's Creed because boyfriends, but yeah, they've got like a wanted system where you're being hunted and you go into they have the bureau now, which is where you can go. That's where you'll get your missions. It's where there's I think all new tools. I don't know if there were
every
tools.
Assassin's Creed has new weapons that are trying to be period specific. So like smoke bombs that look like they came out of that time period, things like that.
Yeah, so this one has smoke bombs, blow darts. I can't remember what
Like
else.
hidden knives, a lot of
throwing knives,
yeah.
stuff like that. So you can go to these bureaus. They will help like bring your wanted level down. There's where you're going to pick up missions. It's where you're going to pick up your new tools or upgrade your tools. And that
I
sort of
do
thing.
like the fact it is keeping the continuity of the universe, where the hidden blade you had to take off your is it ring finger or index finger?
I think so. Yeah.
Whereas in 2, Leonardo da Vinci is like, I solved it. You no longer have to cut your finger off to have this cool blade. And now, because this one takes place before that one, you do have to
What the
cut your
hell
finger.
happened? I don't want to do that. That's
So if you
just
watch
like
all
a
the
bad time.
if you look at all the posters, you have that weird like leather glove the assassin wears where he's missing his finger, And I'm like, they're keeping that weird continuity for some reason. Why not?
Man, Assassin's Creed. What
Super
happened?
dumb.
Oh,
Super dumb.
ass Cree.
They are taking annualizing that to like the next level. It's insane. I don't know how.
I mean, they really haven't. Valhalla came out like 3 years ago.
Yeah, but we've talked about this now. Just at this showcase, we had 3 new ones announced, and
One's just sorry.
Thank you. No, we had three announced at this, but I talked to you previously. There's like at least 3 more coming.
Yeah.
So like Assassin's Creed doesn't do anything slow, and they are definitely, outside of Final Fantasy, Justin, probably one of the most oversaturated franchises out there, in my opinion.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Along with but that goes along with Call of Duty. It goes along with like every racing game. Like,
you know what? I'm going to throw it out there. One thing just on this topic and annualizing. There is going to be new Call of Duty this year, and they said, I'm surprised there was nothing for it at the showcase. Last year, they did have an entire segment of the Summer Games Fest show devoted to Modern Warfare 2.
I totally don't remember that.
It was like an entire section, like, look at this cool guns. They look more real than ever. And everyone's like, yay. This one, we saw nothing about it, but there is supposed to be a Call of Duty coming out in the fall. And as of so far, we've got no news about it at all.
Does anybody else just like entirely have no concept of time when it comes to video games?
Yep.
Like, what? Every time I see something about Days Gone, like that's the first story I ever wrote here, and I'm like, I feel like it's been like 5 minutes. I'm like, no, it is not. Fable, that was announced in like 1942. Street Fighter really had me messed up. That one's actually out now, right?
It's
Street
out
Fighter
now,
6. Okay.
They don't look
so
that's
so that one, we saw at Summer Game Fest last year. Then we had someone see again at Gamescom.
Yep.
Then we had someone do, I think that one, but 2 previews on top of that.
Because they kept putting previews out.
So at this point, I was just like, why? Why isn't this game's out, right? He's like, no, not yet. I'm like, too much. And even here, Street Fighter 6 had a crossover with
Exoprimal.
Yes, those 2 things, they go together. Sure. They're just like, hey, we got to be here. What can we do? New colored pants. What? Like,
they were like robotic.
Sure.
Ken's. It was very strange.
Super. But yeah, this industry has definitely ruined my concept of time. Like I didn't used to watch showcases and things like that. So when I knew about a new game, like it was coming soon, not 14 years from now when I'm jaded and angry.
Oh, that's fair.
So yeah. That was Mirage. I know we saw a little bit about Nexus and Codename Jade. Codename Jade, I think could be cool. Like I'm not a huge mobile person.
So that's NetEase, right? That's Tencent or NetEase.
I don't know. I can't keep track of that nonsense.
I'm going to look this up as you guys.
One of them was Level Infinite. I know that much because I was like, hey, that's weird. That's Level Infinite on the screen.
That's Tencent.
Yeah.
Did they show any of the VR Assassin's Creed?
They gave us like a little. We didn't get to see any of it live, like anybody playing it. We just kind of saw the videos of them talking about it. I'm gonna throw up. That's all I got.
That's my one concern. So there,
like the jump and stuff is apparently in there.
Yeah.
But what they did say, if I remember completely correctly, there is going to be a mode that specifically takes into consideration sad people like me who get sick when they do VR. So I know it's something about like allowing you to have your peripherals. And there's something else. I don't really think that's going to work for me, but
I'm that one I'm really concerned about because I know Skyrim VR, that one made me very sick.
Yeah, it's in the other room. I turned it on and went, oh, that's enough.
So I really worry about a game like Assassin's Creed first person could be really nauseating.
It's quick, right? Like it's
if it's not, it'll feel slow and dumb and it won't be fun to play. So I don't know where that middle ground is for a game that's that fast. Like it doesn't feel like a game that matches VR very well.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, we didn't get to try it, so it's hard to say, but
well, I think like theoretically, if you think about VR, like and what VR should be, it actually seems like it'll be a perfect thing for VR, being that like immersed in a different world and not just shooting a gun, but like shanking people and
Yeah.
jumping. Like that sounds so cool. Like that sounds like the future of gaming.
Mhm.
It also sounds like I will need a puke bag. Thank God Park Beyond gave me one,
Mm.
which they did in a press kit, and I think it's great. But yeah, so I think that will definitely ruin my life. But I think
fair.
for the people that can do it, I think if they do it right, it could be really cool and also terrifying.
Agreed.
hmm Um, yeah, but that's kind of all we got was them just talking about it. And like you'd see people doing things in VR and then they're like, here's what they're doing in the game. And you're like, yeah, probably not.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
no way
Yeah,
in
no
hell.
way, no way, no way. That's always lies, always lies.
Yeah. Yeah. But it looks like it could be really cool.
I think it has potential, but I'm still there's a lot of we don't know about VR, like what systems it's coming for. How's it going to play on different hardware? Like, it need the top end ones work or work like a Meta Quest?
Or if it's going to be just exclusive and just next gen
Yeah.
or just whatever. We don't know any of
It's
that.
so kind of up in the air right now.
Because Justin, you do VR. Which ones do you have?
Man, okay, so
By the way, I would pay money to watch you do VR, but continue.
So I have right now. I got rid of everything else. I just have the Quest 2 and a link to my PC. That's it.
fair.
Because I had the Index, the Valve Index, the
Yeah.
one from Steam, and that was amazing. But I mean, it is too much money for how often I used it.
Yeah.
My biggest concern with a lot of newer titles is okay. The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners Chapter 2 was originally exclusive for the Quest 2.
Yep.
Okay.
When that came out, it was hot garbage.
Yep.
Really?
Like it looked way worse. It ran horribly. Like it was crashing all the time. Things just like weren't meshing well. And then it came to Steam on like PC VR and PSVR 2, and it was like a completely different game. It ran fantastically. It looked amazing. My concern is if they're going to try and hit Quest 2 with a lot of these games, the PC version might suffer a little bit.
That's fair.
So like
I think the Quest 2 is basically a phone hardware, right?
I'm sure that a lot of the games showed at the Meta Showcase were shown on Quest 3.
Yeah.
Because nothing on Quest 2 looks that good.
That's fair.
That's fair.
Okay.
But
yeah, I'm not sure. Now I know this is where my age is showing. Like mobile games, I still feel like they should be like Farmville, where like you set
Yep.
stuff and you wait and then you come back. And now they're like full on just full games. I know it kind of ties in. We did the Division.
Okay.
Is it Resurgence? Am I making that up?
Resurgence, yeah.
Resurgence. We got to play that at Ubisoft hands-on, and I just felt ridiculous on this teeny little like it. I have great eyesight. I don't wear contacts. I don't wear glasses, but like I can't see shit on that screen. Like what?
There's a lot of really small menus that were really hard to see on a regular phone.
It's a full title on a phone, and that's awesome that it can run on a phone, but should it? Like, why? Why are we doing this? And the better part was that they said you can cast it to your TV, however it is, whether it's cast or hook up. Like, then why can't I just have it on a big girl system? Like, why do I gotta, why? Like, I have a pretty big phone and a pretty, look at those. Gross. I've got a pretty big phone. And like, even still, I'm like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
Like, just, even playing on a small TV, like playing on a PC, I'm like, I don't, and I've got a big PC monitor too. Okay, I'm spoiled is what I'm getting at. But yeah, I don't want to play like really fast titles with controls on my thing. Like I want to tap and go kind of game for mobile. But for those people that do it, like that's awesome. I'm glad that you can. I cannot.
That's fair.
Yeah. I would not pay for a mobile title. I think it's kind of
I think it was free to play.
Is it free to play?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe. I'll use it to test phones and tablets. And I'll probably be annoyed the whole time. But
I think Code Jade is also supposed to be free to play as well.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
Okay.
And it is level infinite that's putting that one out.
Okay. Yeah, it looks cool, but again,
it feels like it's made for the Chinese market. Very much so.
Yeah,
it's all about Chinese history and how it was great.
Okay, well that's good.
For somebody.
I mean, nothing wrong with that. It is a very elaborate history that has a lot of great stories to tell. It's clear that Level Infinite is playing to their base, which is the Chinese market, which makes sense.
I guess.
It's Tencent, so.
Yeah. It looked cool, but again, I can't really get behind a mobile title because I'm a terrible person, and
it
I
is.
don't even want to play Stardew on my phone, and I love Stardew Valley. Like every time I
I
open it,
love
I'm just like,
Stardew Valley.
yes, yes. Yeah, I don't even want to do that on my phone. I'm just like, give me my TV. I don't even want to do it on my Switch though either. Like I want. Okay, so I'm just an asshole. This is what we're understanding here. Anywho, so we talked about Division. What else? We got to play the Crew Motorsport.
Can we talk about that or no?
Yeah. None of the Ubisoft stuff is embargoed.
Okay.
We got hands on with that.
Hmm.
They gave us like hour-long appointments.
Oh,
Brett and I
really?
are both like, I'm done now.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like I couldn't just go into the menu and do whatever I wanted. They just
Mhm.
put you into races. And like
Oh.
there's different kinds of races, and it was like back to back to back to back to back. I was like, okay, I've gone in this little loop enough. I'm good. Thank you.
Yep.
Isn't the Crew known for its like open world,
Yep.
like
Yes.
vehicle shifting?
Mhm.
And
Yep.
you didn't get to experience any of that.
No, it was pretty much they put us on tracks. He did explain to me that
Mhm.
like the tracks are infinite essentially because it is open world, but I didn't get to experience how that works, and I've never played
That's a
the
shame.
Crew before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even still, like it was too long of an appointment. I probably did 6 or 7 races in our like
Yeah.
30 minutes.
I think I did about the same.
And then I was like, I'm done. He's like, oh, are you sure? I'm like, absolutely. And not because it was a bad game, but just because we were doing the same thing over and
Mhm.
over. I will say
It did look good though.
it did, except some of the cutscenes. Some of the
Yeah.
cutscenes, like the hair was like choppy and
They do have
different.
that Ubisoft jank where everyone talks way too much with their hands for no apparent
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm just going to articulate wildly everything I do. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Well, depending on the day, I'm like that
Yeah.
too.
There was a lot of it. It was a lot of just everyone talking about the weirdest things in the most elaborate way possible when it's just like, look at the screen, I'm racing.
Yeah. I don't know. It was fun, and I think that could be a fun, like a lot of whatchamacallit, racing games have a tendency to be like a lot. Like you have your career mode and you design your card. You did like this is just one you can kind of jump in and out
Yeah.
of. And I dig that rather than, it owning your life and putting more effort into it than your actual car.
It did feel much more arcadey than Forza or Gran Turismo. It was much more jump into a race and play how you want to play, and then that's cool. You can put like you want weird nitro, you got near nitro, go for it. It's fun.
Not in every mode though.
No, there was the vintage mode has no nitro.
And same with the like actual
Like
race mode.
F1 doesn't have nitro. But if you want to just race like weird Japanese street cars, you can do it.
Anyway, we're putting a lot of detail in these games. I think the one that anybody from Ubisoft will really care about is Prince of Persia.
Mhm.
Oh my
We
God,
did get
that game looks amazing.
It looks
Yeah.
really good.
Sure. It's good. Again, it's not my department. It's a platformer, and I suck at it.
It's like
And I
a
got stuck.
Metroidvania platformer.
Yeah, I got real stuck in it. I was like, well, that's
Oh,
enough.
no.
Brendan's covering this one. No, I played it for a little bit. It was cool. It's got great audio.
Mhm.
It's just not my kind of game, but
Yeah.
I think anybody that's excited for it will be happy with it.
I think it has a lot of promise. It's hard to tell how big the game is because it's weird because like 10 years ago, someone said platformer, you're like, yeah, that could be a full price title. Now it's weird when you think of the massive open world games like Starfield. It feels weird to say, oh, that massive open world game that's 2,000 hours
Yeah.
is the same as this 6-hour game. And it's really hard to know where people price things. Like I could see Prince of Persia being a full price title with 20 hours of gameplay, but I also could see it being like a game that's like $10 on the store. So it really does, it is hard to say, especially because they didn't really talk about length of the game. They really didn't talk about um overall like what price point they're targeting. They didn't talk about like how
Anything.
like side missions, any of that stuff. Like it does seem like there's a lot of hidden secrets and things like that, but
yeah.
it really is hard to say right now.
It's something.
Mhm.
But I think people that are excited for it will definitely gonna like it.
think-
I was not coordinated enough.
I think the control, if you like Symphony of the Night or other games like that, it feels good. It has that fast, fluid
interesting.
motion you'd like. The jumping mechanics are really solid. The like controls are really good. I don't know how it's going to work with with all the powers unlocked, but from what I saw, it plays really well. And the bosses feel epic as you'd expect from this sort of game.
I got stuck. Anyway, from there, I think the only thing that we really got a preview with Xbox was Forza Motorsport. We got to sit on again someone else playing it, not us, and a bit of talk about it. It sounds like they're going to have a lot of options to like turn on and off to make the game a little bit more accessible, so that people who might not have been playing this game their entire lives and may not be taking it as seriously as everybody else will be able to jump in. It's stunning.
Oh, it looks really good.
Looks real stunning. Racing games aren't really my thing because I crash every time. This is a long day of, hey, I wasn't good at this. Go ahead, Justin.
So is Motorsport like not the arcade, like, because I know there's Forza Horizon.
It would be like Gran Turismo.
Yeah. Oh. So Forza Motorsport is their like mainline
take it seriously
racing game, and then Forza Horizon are the ones that like if you were extreme sports enthusiast, you'd love it.
Gotta go fast.
Because I enjoy the Horizons because those are more arcadey, whereas like the simulation style racing just isn't not for me.
I find it interesting Microsoft does have both those franchises that do offer to very different people. Like the Crew would be more similar to Horizon. This is more similar to Gran Turismo.
It's it was good. I think that we heard a lot of buzzwords that I don't think they really needed. Like, I think the game kind of sells itself. It looks damn good. It's got a lot of options. I don't think that there was any reason to really try and sell it. Like,
no, I think it looked really good. Nothing I saw in that demo made me go, oh, I'm really worried about this game. That team knows how to make a racing game and they know how to make it well. So.
Yeah, I think that they didn't need to hype us up for it. I think it's very much a game that'll sell itself, especially to anybody who's already a fan of the genre. Maybe the only thing would be to somebody who's like torn between Forza and Gran Turismo, but that's usually a console war in itself, right?
I think people that like Gran Turismo like Gran Turismo, and no matter what you say, that's the thing they're going to buy in on. So I think these two games have been going head to head for a while, and I think Gran Turismo has won the incredible car crowd that want to hear the exact muffler of that exact car with that exact configuration, where they have a team that goes to every car and like record how the rumble of the tire, like they go
a little bit really far with that. I'm gonna need you to come back now.
No, literally,
I wasn't gonna say anything. But...
no, literally, when they announced the last Gran Turismo, they were talking about how they had teams going to each car and recording every aspect. They record the entire car, so the audio sounds exact when you're sitting in the cockpit. Like, they go a little hard. Forza, I don't think go that hard, but I don't think anyone needs that much. So they both have their niches, and I think they both serve them well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Gran Turismo lives in my house, so I 100% know what you're talking about. People that take their racing games seriously take them seriously. There is a racing wheel that lives in my house. I wish it didn't. It takes up a lot of freaking space. Motorsport will have wheel support. The question confused them a lot for some reason, but yes, it will have wheel support for all the wheels, and life is good. Moving on. So that's pretty much all we've got to say for Xbox. So now we're back to Summer Game Fest, folks. We are back at the beginning. Because the other stuff that we saw that wasn't part of the showcase specifically, we can't talk about.
Yes.
Top secret. Until God knows when, by the way. Like, not even one of them doesn't have a date, and one of them is like, no, probably like never, ever.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like we're talking about I know what you're talking about, I think.
I don't know. The first day?
Before the first day?
Yeah, well, first day for us.
Yes. The first day,
one, and then the last day for us. There were a couple that we can talk about.
Okay, interesting.
Stay tuned. Anyway, so Summer Game Fest. Let's just ask some questions so we don't talk for the next 12 hours. For each of you, what was your favorite of the showcase? Just
hands on or hands off, or are we putting any stipulations there?
You can do both, I guess. I don't think I had any hands off, so I forget that happened.
I had a hands off that I have not stopped talking about since.
Okay,
is it Alan Wake?
Oh, Alan Wake 2.
Yeah.
Looks and like seems like it's just going to be like I love
Yeah.
Remedy games.
Me too.
Control was probably my favorite game of 2019,
hmm
and I've
The
been.
fact that you guys could just be like my favorite game of 2019. Shut up. Get out of here. I don't know what year anything came out.
Well, I just know it because it was my favorite game, and then like
That's fair.
every time they added DLC or like updated it, I would find myself going back to playing it.
I do find it interesting how Remedy has kind of made this weird interconnected world.
Yes.
So Control is part of the Alan Wake universe, or the vice versa, or the Remedy
Yeah.
verse,
Yeah.
if you will.
Well, even like Quantum Break.
Yeah.
Quantum Break. Yes. That's somehow like Alan
Is
Wake
it
taught
is it
at one of
connected?
the. Yeah, he taught
Okay,
at one of the university, like the university that it
that's
like
super weird. Like
opens up
Quantum
at.
Break was one of those games that no one talks about, but I thought that was a really,
Well, they tried something
really,
new,
yeah.
right? And they
I
like
liked that one.
interconnected it with like the TV show that wasn't really a standalone TV show, but was like part of the. That was a really weird experience. But yeah, Alan
No,
Wake 2 is easily my favorite thing from the show.
I think I wish they brought back, like they'd had that weird yeah, kind of a TV show vibe to
Yeah.
Quantum Break, which I wish they did carry forward in other games, because I liked how you could like last time on Quantum Break.
Yes. Yeah.
I actually, I'll plug it while we're here. We are running a contest right now for PC codes for the first Alan Wake, so that people can, get ready for the next one. We're running that alongside Brendan's preview.
Which was
His last
just
preview.
retweeted by Sam Lake today.
It
Oh
was.
damn. Okay.
Yes. So he's feeling good. He's got an ego today. No, I'm kidding. I'd probably cry if like I met Todd Howard, walked away, and was like, "Oh, that's who that was." Shit. But, so maybe I wouldn't cry. I'd be like, "Oh, that's cool." But no, that's awesome. So we've got a contest running for that. Check it out. Do that. But yeah, Brendan's preview sold me. I mean, I don't want to play it. I would
Yeah.
rather not wet myself in public.
I
Or
don't know if
private, really.
I
Really.
I don't know if it's going to be that scary. I think
No,
it's
the stress, like no.
it does
Even
look
just
like
looking at those pictures, no.
it does look like it's going to be tense. I do like it. Kind of had a the way it did the flashes of like information and stuff like that. It
Yeah.
felt very Seven to me, where
Well,
you
I
like
know they
the really
have
fast cuts.
they have said that like they pulled a lot of inspiration from Seven, whereas like the original Alan Wake pulled a lot of inspiration from like Twin Peaks and stuff.
Yes,
This
it
seems
was
to kind
it
of
was
be
a little bit
like
more. So I was
Oh,
going to
go
say the original one was much more a little bit lighthearted in the way it did it.
yeah.
This one is more. It felt grimy and dirty and
Yes. It felt more like it's
like
definitely going to
damp.
be like a thriller
Yeah.
kind of like style survival horror instead of just like a
No, I saw the
action-y.
baddie in the picture. I
Mm.
saw it. I'm
Oh,
good.
man.
I'm so good.
That was
I
what a
can't
great
even
demo.
like this man over here to my. He's straight across from me, but on the camera, he's over here. Okay, no, that guy. He makes me watch horror movies all the time, and I was raised
Yes.
born and raised horror.
Yeah.
Like 4 years old, watching things I should not have been watching. But for some reason, as an adult, things affect me differently. If there's kids involved,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
absolutely not. Can't get upset. Cannot do it. Anything spiritual, like ghosts and shit, that messes with me. I don't know why. Monsters, I'm good with. Stuff that jumps at me though, I'll throw a punch. Like don't take me to a haunted house. Someone might get hurt.
Yeah.
It's just not a good life choice. It's just not for me.
That's fair.
And I do like that tension. I like that build up, but I don't want to be the one in control of it. Like all you people
That's
that
fair.
play these horror games on VR, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like my heart
it's,
can't take it. We have a history of like heart conditions in my family. I am 34 years old. I will die, and that'll be the end of it.
I think the one thing I will say is I hate the fact they call it Mind Place and not
Oh,
Mind
not the
Palace.
Mind Palace. Yes.
Yeah, no,
I know.
the Mind Place. I'm like, that doesn't sound right, but okay, sure, whatever.
Sounds a little lazy.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
just like up
Where
in
my
there.
Mind Place?
But it like it has a vibe to it,
Yeah.
and it's like immediately like you can immediately tell the vibe it's going for, and it's like this
Yeah.
weird like folk horror
No, absolutely not.
thriller. It's got a
Yeah.
lot of things going for it, and so far
Maybe I
what
need
we've seen
someone to
looks
play
good.
the first one in front of me so that I don't have to do it.
I think it looks really good. From what I've seen, I'm really excited to see more.
Yeah.
I'm really curious how they kind of tie these universes together, because they said there is connection. But he also said if you didn't play Alan Wake 1, you could go into this one and just be fine.
Which doesn't make sense because
No.
this 13-year gap is apparent. If you kind of
Major point.
Yeah, because it's 2010 was when
Yeah.
Alan Wake came out.
Mhm.
So I mean, it is they're kind of adding that gap in, they're making that gap make sense. But how do you approach that from someone who's doesn't know all about his wife and everything that happened in Control and that weird side game that happened and
Oh yeah, with American Nightmare, was that right?
Yeah, yep. There's a lot of weird things going on. I'm also interested to see how they kind of pull that all together because we didn't really see Alan's narrative either.
They said once you meet Alan, you can jump between the two, but until then, you're playing as Saga.
Yeah, which, well, I'm interested to see how they kind of weave those two together to tell a complete but separate stories at the same time. Yeah.
And you can apparently do 5 missions for Alan, then jump over to Saga, and then do 5 missions for Saga, and then they can eventually converge. And
I have full faith in Remedy, but at the same time, I really need to see how they're going to make that happen.
Do we have obviously it was hands off and you guys didn't see a huge chunk of the game. Do we have a release window at all?
Oh, there's a release date.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's October.
5th? Oh, then why the hell did we get to play it? That's lame. I'm good. They probably didn't want people to throw the controllers.
It apparently was playable for select people.
Yeah.
Well,
you had to ask.
That's the problem. That's the problem.
But when Sam Lake is there, how do you say, "Hey, can I play your game?"
Was he there?
Yeah, he was there.
Yeah, he was in the room.
He was doing interviews.
Why does nobody tell me anything? This is what happens when I trust you jackasses to do stuff. Nobody.
If
lets
it helps,
me know
I had a really weird interaction getting into that, behind closed doors. I waited outside for 20 minutes, and then somebody was like, "Oh yeah, you can just come in." And then I got stuck sitting with somebody who is very famous. And then they were just talking to me about their kids, and I was like, "Oh, this is just happening, I guess." Weird.
For me, I just had it with I was with GameSpot and IGN, so there's everyone here is a big person, and Greg Miller was in front of me. I'm like, cool. They're doing their things.
Yep.
Brendan just hides in the background.
Well, no, it was also it was armchairs in the room.
Yeah, it was really weird.
I'm like, this is not a good use of space. There's a giant leather couch and armchairs. I'm like,
although I will say one of the funniest things during the whole fest was seeing people try to decide if they're going to sit on the couch with the other people on there already. Yeah. It was hilarious. It was great.
I was like, I'm just going to take that armchair on the back.
Yeah, I took one chair and I was like, yeah, I'm over here and I don't have to.
Well, that's this is kind of unrelated, but that's my Escape Academy experience. Did you have to play Escape Academy with anybody?
Yeah. No, I just sat there by myself playing it, and the devs were beside me making fun of me the whole time.
So last year they put you with other press, and last year it was still very people are still making masks, and it was just I don't know. You felt like you shouldn't be near anybody, and I sat down, and this guy seemed like the least friendly man on the planet. I'm like, oh, good. You know what I love? Working as a team with somebody who looks like he hates that I exist. Mm-hmm. He actually ended up being fine. It felt very strange. I don't know if you guys know, I'm a little bossy.
It's great though. I'm not gonna lie. It worked out great.
Bossy never.
Yeah. See, Justin's great. Brendan over here is like, please kill me. Please make it end. But so I was like, how do I, and this guy looked like he was going to punch me in the teeth, but he had a little notebook. We were writing stuff down. It got really good at the end. But to do that stuff with a complete stranger, you're just like, what? Shut up, Joe. Joe's talking about me being bossy on YouTube over there.
Yeah, definitely doing that.
I might be bossy. So yeah, that was actually my experience. We can move on to Foam Stars. Same situation.
We talked about that yesterday, or we didn't?
What?
Did we talk about Foam Stars yesterday on the podcast?
Briefly, yeah, but Justin also played it.
He did.
You can find Brendan's preview or our preview for that. It's supposed to be today, so maybe tomorrow. But I think Brendan and I had different experiences. He did not like it. I very much liked it. But that's not your game.
It didn't click with me. I didn't think it was bad. I think it was well designed. It didn't click with me.
I think it really matters who you played with, because I know that's for me, the team I played with was no, obviously nobody knew each other, but nobody was our side was completely silent. Nobody talked about anything. We were all just kind of playing our own game, which kind of sucks when you're
Yeah.
like supposed to be teaming up and like making these plans because the other side was making all these plans.
Yeah.
Right.
It was fun
Yeah,
though. I mean,
it's not a game. It's like jumping into a squad with nothing in Fortnite, and it can be done, yeah, absolutely, but it's meant to be a team,
Yeah.
and that's part of what makes it fun is calling out what's going on, cheering each other on, coordinating your moves. For us, we found that like in Foam Stars, when you get knocked out, you fly back in
Yep.
on your side, and we found that the other team was coding our side in foam, so you're right away at a
Yep.
disadvantage.
Yeah.
So I was trying to yell at people. I'm like, yo, guys, let's do this. Nobody, even Brendan, silence. Then I found out that Tonics, every time I play Tonics, she's got an automatic turret that
Yeah.
automatically targets. And
Yep.
every time I played her, I became the star player. So I was like, yeah, everybody be Tonics. Let's see what this does. Brendan, listen, no one else did. Like, didn't even speak to me. I was like, okay, cool. That's fine. You're all
Oh,
dicks.
man. It
I
was.
hate that.
I definitely went into Foam Stars with probably my lowest expectations was for Foam Stars
I did
because of
not
all the
expect
hate it was getting. It was a lot better than what I thought I was. Like I expected to go into this appointment and be like, all right, here we go, right? Like,
And I mean, that was kind of a forced appointment too.
Yeah.
Square Enix gave us the impression that we were going to play all of these games, and realistically, it was, hey, sit down, play Form Stars for 40 minutes, and then you can wander around and do whatever you want after that.
Yeah.
So we were kind of prisoners.
Yep.
But I had a lot of fun, and in that that game moves quick.
It does.
Yes.
Absolutely. I can see that being a lot of fun, but sorry, I'm dying right now. But that's going to depend on its price point.
Yes.
I mean,
Absolutely.
right now you've got. I actually don't know how much Splatoon is. I've never played Splatoon.
It's full price.
Yeah, it's full price.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a Nintendo. It's full price.
But for me, it gave me the same vibes as like diving into something like Fortnite.
Yeah.
So though it's not the same to me, those two things will satisfy the same itch, if you will.
Yeah.
And Fortnite's free. So there's that. The other thing that I'm concerned about is that there is going to be one best character to play.
It's hard to say. It really is hard to say right now if it is balanced. It felt unbalanced during the demos we saw. As you said, Tonics seemed to have a serious advantage.
Yeah.
But that could be weighed out by their super. Like, there's so much of that game's meta that we do not get yet.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different modes. Apparently, there's going to be a single player mode as well.
Okay.
So I'm hoping that will better give us opportunity to like learn the game, master the skills, figure out what our best play style is. And I think they said there's going to be like voice chat available, if I'm not mistaken, or they said, well, we'll see, one or the other.
There needs
So
to be.
I don't
Either there will be
like,
or there will not be.
Is there in Splatoon though?
Yes.
With a weird app.
Through Nintendo's weird voice chat app.
But yeah, you can do that in any other game too.
Yeah.
Like if we're playing on Xbox, we can jump into a party chat. We can jump into Discord.
Well, that's the thing is, right? Discord is kind of like prevalent everywhere now, so it should.
Yeah, and
hopefully make it a
honestly,
little easier.
Yeah.
If you are playing against a team that is doing that and you are not, you are at a severe disadvantage.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, Foam Stars, yeah. But as I was saying, the Square Enix appointment, there were just a couple of tablets there, and you could go touch them if you wanted to.
Did you guys touch any of the tablets?
I tried.
Weird, but
I tried. I got into. I don't even know which one.
Brave Exvius, I believe.
What?
Brave Exvius.
Oh, that's the one. Oh, don't try Brave Exvius.
Yeah, it was just this menu that was so complicated, and there was so much going on, and like I didn't even know how to get out of it. I don't know what the game looks like. It was just a menu.
The only other game I touched while I was there was Ever Crisis, which is the other remake of Final Fantasy VII that's happening, but it's including stuff from a bunch of like the spin-offs, like Dirge of Cerberus and
That's weird.
the Advent Children movie. It's surprisingly really good, and I think it's going to be like a very good way for people to like still play Final Fantasy VII without having to like own
Final Fantasy.
Yeah, play like the new Final Fantasy VII. It's a way to like re-experience the old stuff. And like it doesn't look bad. It looks pretty good. I mean, it runs on an iPad. I don't know if it runs on Google Play, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's those were kind of weird for me. And I mean, you turned around and it was Power Wash Simulator, which I said this in the preview that I have for for Foam Stars is like something about Square Enix. I am not a Square Enix girl either,
Right.
but I am never disappointed when I play one of their games. I don't play Final Fantasy, but I got to, and it was great, and I could see myself playing it.
Yeah.
Power Wash Simulator came out last year, and now it's back again this year. And last year I was like, this is ridiculous. Why am I doing this? And I friggin' love it.
And it's great.
I friggin' love the game. I was cleaning up, what is it, Bikini Bottom?
Yeah, you were cleaning up his pineapple.
Yeah, I was indeed cleaning up his pineapple. So like, I'm like, I don't know why this is happening, but it is, and I'm happy.
I just don't know why Square Enix is putting that out. Like,
well, I mean, now they're putting out Foam Stars too. What else does Square Enix do?
Final
Fantasy.
They used to have like all the Tomb Raider games in Square Enix.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, well, they made but yeah.
Then they fire sale make a bad game. Like,
yes.
They have, yeah.
Well, obviously they have, but like, what? See, nobody's got anything. Come on.
Okay, well, Matt. I mean, if you give me a second to Google.
Yeah, let's Google. Every time I am faced with a Square Enix game, I'm like, okay, fine. But every time I'm impressed, at least in the recent future.
No, I think they do put a lot of work into their games, and even if they don't hit, they're usually done well. There's a few games that weren't, but most of their games they put the time to make them look good.
Like, I know they did Forspoken, and I know people were kind of iffy about that
Chris
one.
loved that game.
So. I know.
I actually did not mind that game at all. I thought it was okay.
Yeah, it looked really good, and it looked like something I would enjoy.
Yeah.
I'm looking through some of their other games. It's 98% Final Fantasy, so I feel like maybe they should branch out.
They do the Nier games too, right?
Yeah,
they do the Nier. They do like Tactics Ogre.
Like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 on this screen of 6, 12.
Oh yeah, they do a lot of.
There's a lot. There's a lot of Final Fantasy happening there, but they do it well, obviously, especially for fans. We got kind of off topic there. We were talking about our favorite. You guys both, your favorite hands off was Alan Wake, right?
100%.
Yeah.
My favorite hands down. I was excited to play it going in, and now I'm even happier about it with Space Farm. I've talked about this already. It is a super chill take on a farming sim. You've got your combat, all the things that need to be there are. It's super cute, very inclusive, which I think is important to the point where I cried during my appointment because I'm super cool. She thought I was insane. It's fine. It's fine. I was like, that's so nice. I'm so happy for everybody. So that is mine. The fact that it doesn't come out until September is slowly killing me. I want to play it. Like, I want to sit down and just be able to like check it out alone right now. Like, I hope maybe they'll be like, here's a demo like other people have. So I dig that. That's my jam. From there, biggest surprise, I think, again, for me was Foam Stars. Like, I didn't expect to have as much fun with that as I did. That's where I'm at.
Biggest surprise, huh? I mean, I know this is going to come up again later.
God.
Thirsty Suitors, honestly. It starts with such a rough part of the game, which is the skateboarding, which we are going to talk about, I'm sure.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
But after that section, it turns into this like super weird, like deep dive into Indian culture, and it's very.
So when I say I hate it, I'm a dick, is what we're getting at. All right.
Exactly. I'm trying to like turn the narrative against you.
Okay. All right, that's fine. Just want everybody to hate her.
But it's very in tune with like the rhythm style combat of like Super Mario RPG, like the Super Nintendo game, and it's very like flashy, and it's really all about like bringing its culture forward. And as a white dude, I don't really know much about that culture, but it's like does it in such a way that it was like teaching me at the same time. I don't know. It was.
That's really cool. I didn't know that.
I found it super interesting. Again, I'm sorry that you had to play the worst part of it. Okay,
so we may as well just talk about it now then, because technically it won't come up again because you said your favorite game already, and it was Alan Wake. So, so the reason we're talking the way we are is because Thirsty Suitors was hands down one of Justin's favorites, and he was trying to like talk me into playing it, and I managed to like sneak a slot in, and I sat down. And keep in mind when you're playing these games, so I'm sitting on like a little couch, and there's a massive
Mhm.
50-inch TV, 47,
Yeah,
whatever,
it
in
hurts your
front of you.
eyes.
And it's like not even 6 feet away from you. Like
Yeah.
it is right friggin' there. So I'm like playing this little game. And the first chunk of that game is all skateboarding.
Oh,
I don't know
yeah.
why. I still don't understand what the game's about, but it was like doing flip kicks and tricks
Mhm.
and stuff. It made me violently ill. I get motion sickness. I am aware that this is a fault of mine.
No, but I think that they didn't lead off well with putting that section forward because I've seen it in the skating in action in like the open-esque world kind of thing, and
Yeah.
there it looks good, but I think showing it off in like this, it's like a stark blank room with like it's a tutorial room basically.
It is, and
And
it made me
it's a
real
lot.
dizzy.
Yeah.
Real dizzy.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe it would be fine if it were further away. Maybe it would be fine in smaller doses. I had
Fine
one
if you
other
could
game.
skip it, you know, we'll see.
Yeah, like I thought you sent me to love a skateboarding game, and I was like, well,
Nope.
that's not the right
In fact,
audience.
afterwards, I was like, oh man, that is that was the worst part of that game. But it sucks because after that, it gets into like this. It turns into basically a like Bollywood version of Scott Pilgrim. Like, imagine Scott
Oh,
Pilgrim,
that's
but like a
cool.
million times better. And that's how I feel about it because it really, I don't know. There's just
It had
something
something to
about like,
say.
okay,
No, I said
yeah.
it had something
Oh
to say.
yes, yeah,
Not me.
exactly.
I don't have anything to say.
Oh, okay, yeah. I don't know. It's of anything I actually like got hands on with. That is the one I'm most excited to see more of and kind of get a release date because we don't even have a
But you know
release date
what?
right now.
Last year I did Day of the Devs, and it was a little bit different than you
Okay.
guys did it. You two split it up, I believe. I think you both did
Yes.
different sections. Last year it was all one appointment. It was 8 games in an hour.
Oh yeah, I this time so
It was fast.
I had like Thirsty Suitors and Cocoon, and then the next day I had 3 games in half an hour. So it was like every 10 minutes it was switching.
So we did 8 an hour. It was
Oof.
2 full booths. But Day of the Devs was my favorite part of Summer Game Fest last year, and it just didn't work out for me this year. You two got it. And yeah, there were like we did Bear and Breakfast last year, A Little to the Left. There was another one that I haven't gotten to play since. I can't even remember what it's called. I'm gonna have to go look it up because it's gonna bother me. That was a really cool like a search and find kind of game. You had to find things in these rooms. It was really cool. Like I remember playing big games last year. Like I played Sonic Frontiers and I friggin' hated it.
Yeah.
And then I dove into these little games. And Justin, you didn't know me last year. I didn't play indies.
Okay.
I was very much like AAA and that's it.
Yeah,
Nothing
absolutely.
in
Yeah,
between.
understandably.
And I have to say that I think that last year that Day of the Devs itself kind of converted me over to indies. And like
Okay.
Little to the Left right now has DLC. A Little to the Left, if you don't know, it's just about like organizing shit in your house. I truly believe it should be a mobile game.
Okay.
It's on it was on PC. I think they brought it to Switch. I could be lying, but I would never play it on PC. It's not something I would ever sit down to do. I did review it on PC. It's a good game, but it is 100% something you can pick up, do a couple quick puzzles, and put it down. I'm doing things down here with my phone that you can't see. I'm acting it out, just in case you were wondering.
It is on Switch now as well.
Is it? Yeah. But it's just, if it were a mobile game, I think it would get a lot more,
I mean,
a lot
Switch
more
is
people.
a mobile-like console.
Yeah, but it's not the same. Like I would pick it up while sitting at the doctor's office.
Yeah.
I would pick
Okay,
it up
yeah.
standing in line for something because it's just you really you do these quick little puzzles. Like one of them's organizing a junk drawer. Like you just put everything in its place. One of them's organizing post-its so that it makes a picture. It seems really weird, but they just came out with their DLC and it's called Cupboards and Drawers. So it's just cleaning out people's cupboards and drawers, and I'm really excited about it. I'm not gonna lie. It I don't know. There's something like really cathartic about it. And anyway, but I digress. So I'm bummed that I missed out on Day of the Devs this year.
That's fair.
That's kind of where that was going. Except Thirsty Suitors made me want to yak. So,
Fair.
Yeah.
You know what? When that comes out, I will like show you parts of that game that aren't the skateboarding.
We're working on it. I feel like Dana, look over here. Okay. Brendan, do you have anything that was a surprise for you?
I mean, Remnant, I think I wasn't sure what to expect from that one, but I really did like what they had on show. I think it looked really good. And I think it's more than just a Souls-like. I think there is some depth to it, and I'm excited to play more of that game.
Squeaky voice.
I heard some people like disparaging it, and I'm like, nah, it's
No,
pretty solid.
it was a pretty solid game.
Yeah,
Like
it looks really good.
Yeah, and it knows, again, kind of back to the whole vibe thing. It knows kind of what it wants to
Yep.
present itself as, and it does that
Weird
in
dark
spades.
fantasy.
Yeah, it's like it's Warhammer esque
Yeah.
in its present.
Don't say
presentation.
Warhammer. Now I'm triggered.
I mean,
I
Warhammer.
don't know.
is-
I don't
just
know
can't.
Warhammer. It just I know it kind of looks like the guy.
Yeah,
I can't with Warhammer.
it's like modern weaponry in a weird dark fantasy universe. It's really strange, but I'm down to see what it does with it.
So, did you get to play it co-op at all, or were you just like solo?
I was soloing.
Okay, I played it in co-op.
He doesn't like other people.
And it was interesting.
Oh, that's good, interesting, or bad, interesting.
I think it'll depend on who you play with.
That's fair.
That I think that's something we need to get out in the open though. Co-op games depends on who you play with.
Yeah.
Brendan's played co-op games with me. Sometimes I'm not nice. If I'm not good at a game, I'll cry. If someone's not doing what I say, I'll yell. It's not a great thing. Like it's not my best personality traits, but you know, it depends. Try playing Fortnite with a bunch of 8-year-olds that A are kind of better than you, but B don't actually want to finish the game.
Oh, see, I'm lucky because when
I do not wander off, Joe. Joe's over here on YouTube yelling at me saying I wander off. I wander off if I'm doing the right thing. If you're not with me, then clearly you're the problem, not me.
That's the exact experience I had with Remnant 2.
Hey, buddy, why don't you come back over here? All right. No? Okay. So that being said, your surprises, what was your biggest letdown? Oh, she died.
I feel bad about this. Okay. It was
did I
actually
play?
kind of a
Hold on.
tie between two.
All right.
I unfortunately don't remember the names of it because I just kind of purged them from my memory.
Okay.
There was the Quantic Dream time manipulation puzzle fighter thing. Dana, I believe you played it as well.
Oh, I loved that one.
Oh, I hated that game.
Okay, so it's really hard to say. Hold on, let me find it. So it's called, I want to say Fislanga, but I think that's wrong.
Yes. Okay, that sounds right. Yes. Okay. Who knows, because they said this demo was all about combat. They didn't really have any of the narrative involved. So who knows? It might have been like more interesting. I just found it like a grind because it was back to back to back to back battling.
That's the game.
Yeah.
That's it. Hold on. Okay, so this actually, hold on, we gotta talk about it. I gotta find the actual name of it before I'm a jerk and screwing it up for everybody.
That's fair.
Oh, frick.
I can talk about the other one if you want, because that
you talk about that while I look for this one.
The other one was a moving out style game where you're packing up your things, leaving your childhood home. Those games are absolutely have their audience. I am just not that audience.
Like unpacking?
Except for it's like in a first person. It's from like a first person angle. I
didn't even see that one.
Did you get the little cassette in your swag bag? It's that game.
Okay.
It was interesting. But I don't know. It's just something about it did not click with me. There was a bunch of problems with like the audio clipping in and out while I was playing with giant headphones on. Oops, I'm sorry. And I don't know. I felt weird playing it. I don't know. It just nothing about it clicked
Didn't work
with
for you?
me.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay, so I found it.
Okay,
what you're talking about right now, I actually didn't see that game. I know that the actual the game Unpacking, I actually really enjoy.
Unpacking is a lot of fun.
Okay, and really depressing, but it works. But I'm gonna have to check out what you're talking about. The other game,
I was trying to find it, but
it is Lysfanga, but it's spelled weird. It's Lysfangha. Lysfanga, the Time Shift Warrior.
Okay.
Yes.
That game's gonna fail just because people can't say it or spell it.
Yeah.
Or find it. Like I typed it in the way I thought it'd be spelled, and the internet does not know what I'm talking about. So
fair.
That game I described as like a puzzle Diablo.
Yeah.
So it's got the top-down view. You absolutely fight, but in each fight you go in and you can do it, I believe it's up to 3 times. And you go in and you fight what you can, and then your timer runs out and you start over. And now there's a little ghost version of you that does exactly what you just did, and now you go do something else, and then it'll restart again, and then there'll be a third person. So when you got further into the game, it became more about, like, there were different enemies that like had to be killed at the same time, or there were ones that could only be killed from behind, so you would have to send your first person to fight them from the front, so your second person could come in and fight them from the back, and you had to work on timing for all these things and how you open doors. And I think I believe he said there's 100 levels. This game was originally created as somebody's school project,
Mm.
and they went on to continue developing it. I think it could get really addictive, like just one more, just one more,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
one more. And I do like the puzzle aspect of it. I like that it, you know, you can finish one mission, walk away, and come back.
Mhm.
Whereas, like, if you're gonna jump into a fighting like RPG or anything, it's gonna take some time. I don't necessarily know the story or anything behind that, or how much it's gonna cost in the long run.
Right.
But yeah, I was into it. Weird, right?
It
We
Yeah,
were into
no, well, but
anything.
that makes good conversation, right? Is like if I just
Mm,
came in here and I was like, Alan Wake
you're
was the worst.
wrong, Justin.
Yeah, Alan Wake was the worst thing I saw.
There'd be a conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I got really pumped about that one. Like, I recall like yelling at Brendan from across the room, like, yo, look at this thing. And the guy was really excited that I was really excited. So I have a very weird interview too. So
Oh,
that.
well, see, mine could also be the fact that the person ahead of me was like running late, so my appointment started late, and then I had another appointment that was so it could have been like the stress of like, okay, well, only
You're
have like
allowed
a
to
little bit of time with this, so
You're allowed to not like it. Don't worry.
yeah.
Mine was the same company, Quantic Dream. I believe it's called Under the Waves.
Oh, yes.
Which is because that is the like horror-esque one, or is that in Still Waters? I don't remember. A lot of
It's
the
not
games
horror.
are like, okay,
So I don't even know what to say about it. You're this guy that lives under the water. Sure. And you know what? I probably could have gotten into it because it's really just an exploratory game. Like, you're floating around, you're searching submarines, gathering stuff, yada yada yada. And I can get behind that. I'm kind of a completionist. I want to look for stuff. I want to
Mhm.
hoard stuff. That's kind of what I do. But it was so friggin' janky that I was getting, like, I wanted to leave my appointment because I was getting frustrated, and I don't want to get frustrated.
yeah,
It was one of my earlier appointments, and like, you have to like land underwater, and then to interact with anything you had to be at like very specific angles. And there was a
Mhm.
point where I was like, I guess I can't do this, and the guy's like, no, you can. You just have to like stand here and face here, and I'm like, I shouldn't have to do that,
why?
especially
Yeah,
while swimming. Like, no, it was frustrating me very much so. And it just felt like it wasn't polished enough. Now, I do know somebody else that played it, and he said that for the people that make it, or the style of game that it is, that's very common.
Mhm.
But for me, it was, I would say, unplayable for me. I was
Right.
like, there, I don't want to do this. It's super slow. Like, no, thank you. I've played plenty of games that ask for that sort of thing, but
Right.
they know how to do it in a more user-friendly way. And if I'm going to play a tedious game, I can't have the gameplay be tedious, if
That's
that
fair.
makes sense. Like, the movement,
It definitely is.
don't make something that's going to be tedious even harder than it should be,
Yep.
because
Yeah.
what's the point, you know? Um, yeah, that's where I'm at.
Fair.
Anything from you, Brendan?
I've been looking at those. I didn't see anything that really disappointed me, honestly.
Good.
Most things I played, I enjoyed, or it was fine. Nothing really disappointed me. Like, some of the stuff from the devs were interesting. It might not have clicked with me, but it didn't disappoint me because I wasn't
Yeah.
sure what to expect. But yeah, nothing really disappointed me overall.
There was Call of Duty announcements at Summer Game Fest.
Were there really?
Yeah.
Really?
Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone Season 4.
Okay.
Oh,
I don't remember that either.
when?
So
Okay.
I don't know. I have no memory of that, but it is definitely in our thing.
I don't remember that. I mean, oh wait, there was. Oh yes, there was the Warzone thing. I didn't see anything about a new Call of Duty this fall though.
I'm just telling you what I saw.
Okay, fair enough.
Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone Season 4.
Okay.
That's all I got. The
Cool.
world premiere, by the way. So maybe we'll
Oh.
watch that later because we suck.
Oh.
Well, that's a good sign then. Nothing that you didn't seem insanely excited about anything except for probably Alan Wake,
Yep.
but then you didn't seem unhappy either.
Nothing. Maybe just the appointments I got, but nothing I played was. I was like, oh, this is awful.
Well, I do make sure to give you things that you may actually like. I just
I mean, I think Phantom Liberty was good. Alan Wake looked good. Yeah, nothing really disappointed me overall.
Phantom Liberty.
Did either of you play Mortal Kombat?
Yeah, both of us.
Okay, what did you think of Mortal Kombat?
I thought it was good.
It was good.
Yeah.
If you like Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
I had somebody leave because they thought they were going to be sick from the violence.
Okay, then they should probably not be playing Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, Mortal
it was
Kombat
in
is
like
not the place for them.
you know how they like took you into the
Yeah.
presentation room. It was after that they were like,
That's amazing.
yeah, I'm not going to play. I think I have to go be sick.
He or she should not be playing Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, it was
That's
like,
amazing.
oh wow. I mean, it's very brutal.
It
like
is, yeah.
clearly,
Yeah.
every time these games come out, it's gonna be like a point of contention about how
Yeah.
gory they are and do they need to be that
Mhm.
gory. But like, I don't know why you go to Mortal Kombat. That's like,
Yeah.
We had this conversation a little bit on Thursday, and you know, when horror movies were getting like at their worst and
Yeah.
or best, depending on who you are, and like it turned into like torture porn
Yeah.
and stuff like
Yeah.
that, there was a line for me, but I've never been offended by gore.
No.
It's what causes the gore that might offend me. Like,
yeah,
for instance, I don't know if it's embargoed, but I can't remember the name of it, so it doesn't really matter. We just got an email yesterday for an X-rated game
Oh, yeah,
that's coming out, and it's literally just all
Really?
about torturing prisoners. And I was like, that seems like a thing that we shouldn't have to do. Like, I'm good, thank you.
wow.
Like that doesn't do it for me. But part of what I talked about with Mortal Kombat 2 is the audio, which
Mhm.
is weird. Like twice in this whole week did audio come up as a big thing for me, and it's not usually. Like, ugh. It sounded
was
the
so gross, which
squelchy
was
wetness of
it was
everything.
so good.
Yeah.
And we did an interview with, I don't know, maybe Brendan can tell you who after, but I was telling him, I'm like, it just sounds disgusting. And I mean that in the best possible
Yeah,
way.
absolutely.
And he was like, and the best part is, he's like, it's probably like wet spaghetti or like somebody breaking lettuce. I'm like, I know, but like, oh, some of those kills, I was just like, oh, I can feel it.
The Foley work was great.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gorgeous, and it's got like a shiny new coat of polish. It's not like a down and dirty, dingy Mortal Kombat. It's like our big shiny, don't get blood on the rug Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
That's a good line, guys. I'm funny. So I think for people that enjoy the game and can handle gore, I think it'll be good. I like the new cameos. Brendan, you didn't sound as sure about the cameos.
It's hard to say because they had such a limited selection of people to use during that demo that I was just like, this could be great or real bad. Like if they have certain characters only as cameos, I think that'll be a takeaway, like kind of bad in the overall game.
Yeah.
They've done it. Like I've seen other fighting games, like this character's there, but only as this weird like assist you can use. Kind of, I don't like that. I like the fact you can mix up your team with like have the full roster, whatever it is, and you can have a cameo of anyone else in that roster. I think that's kind of neat.
Mhm.
If it's just these are the characters that are cameos, these are the characters that are main fighters, I think that might take away because there are some people that I would want to play as, but also would like as a cameo. And it's hard to say right now because the roster was so
Mhm.
light in the demo we played.
Yeah, I would agree. Are there any, before we get into like their most anticipated and I reveal all these lovely results, are there any like honorable mentions that you want to make sure you give a shout out, whether they were your favorite, your worst,
I think
whatever?
Phantom Liberty was good. I think I again, there's so much questions for that game because it is kind of a really big
I
expansion.
almost, and I don't like to like say I feel bad for the devs because they jacked up the original
Yeah.
game. Like I don't know how that happened. But they are going to be watched so much harder
Yeah.
than anyone else in
Yeah,
the next
absolutely.
little while. So they can't slip up. They just can't. It won't be forgivable. We played it. We played a good amount of it.
Yep.
And by we, I mean I played a little bit and then got nervous fighting in front of people because I played I played Cyberpunk for about 3 minutes. So I made Brendan do it. But it was I'm definitely going to pick up Cyberpunk again.
Yep.
I won't do it until Phantom Liberty, though, because Phantom
Yes.
Liberty is going to change so much of the base game.
And they're also they're bringing in a lot of the skills and stuff you saw in the Edge Runner anime.
Yeah.
Okay.
So a lot of the Edge Runner kind of abilities that you saw there are making their way into the game, and with little logos that look like they're from the anime. I'm like, yay, that's kind of cool, I guess.
Yeah, they said that essentially for anybody that's already playing the game and has their own save files, they can definitely jump into this, and they're going to have a skill reset because all the skill trees and things are new. But I think for somebody who's not playing it right now, if you are thinking about picking up Cyberpunk again, I would wait until Phantom
Yeah.
Liberty because you're just going to learn everything to restart and relearn it. So,
is there like a solid date for that already? I don't.
October. Yeah, there is. I
Okay.
just wrote it.
There was
It's in
just like
October.
600 games thrown at us in the last week, so
And
my
all of
brain
them
is
are in
like,
October.
yeah, October and September are going to be busy.
And I think it's
months.
supposed to be it's $30 for that game for Phantom Liberty is what they're saying
That's
right
not
now.
bad.
Okay.
But yeah, it is going to completely change the game.
It is also like a full story segment. Apparently, there's a lot of Idris Elba in there.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Okay.
And Keanu Reeves again. I kind of assumed they were just going to have like, little cameo. Hey, they're here, but apparently they're
No, it's
full-fledged
Keanu Reeves. You
characters.
need to use him to like his full.
But you'd think by now he'd be done. But nah, he came back.
Yeah.
He is
Yeah.
there.
He seems to like the world, and
Yeah.
I'm down with it.
So yeah, I would say that's a good honorable mention. That's definitely one of the ones that I'm most eager to check out.
And I think also the devs just seem so excited for that game. Like
Sure.
CDPR had so many people on site.
They did everywhere. Like everywhere we went, we saw them.
I kept having, because I wore the T-shirt they gave during the presentation at like just out, and I had a few people like, "Hey, you're wearing your other shirt we gave you." I'm like, I don't know who you are, but yes,
I guess. Did you give it to me? Were you there? I don't know. Yeah, I would say maybe Sonic is probably my.
Yeah.
It was good. It was my first appointment.
Mhm.
I have not gotten better at Sonic, apparently. And it's a bit of a learning curve for me, but I think it's definitely going to bring the the
Mhm.
grown-ups like us who played this style of Sonic game together with the group of kids who are obsessed with the Sonic movies. This is going to
Yeah.
be a really happy medium because it is that old school style, but it's got a fresh new coat of paint,
Mhm.
some new mechanics, co-op, which I didn't get to play, so I don't know, that could be janky. I think that's a good honorable mention. Just everybody play Faith on.
Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah,
Yep.
that technically wasn't part of Summer Game Fest, and they didn't give us an embargo, so
Really?
I'm just not going to talk about it.
That's fair.
Really? It was there though.
Yeah, but the press kit we got from Square Enix doesn't have anything for Final Fantasy 16 in it. So there's that.
Never mind.
Disney Illusion Island as well.
Yeah.
Justin, especially, you didn't play that, did you?
No, I did not.
Especially because you have kids, you should. They have made it so incredibly. How old is your youngest? Can I say that? You don't have to tell me.
Oh yeah, I don't care. 4.
4. Yeah. So my daughter's almost 4 too, and they put a bunch of things in the game where like they can play with you.
Okay.
Yeah, like you have to do like double jumps to get up and stuff, but you can also walk to the edge and drop a rope. You can they can click to get on, or you can turn that off so that they don't even have to click. They just have to walk up to it.
Interesting. Okay.
If somebody gets stuck and you guys keep going, eventually they'll just kind of float to you in a cute little envelope. There's little hugs to give people extra hearts. You can turn up and off the difficulty for different people. Like I can have 3 hearts and someone else can have invincible hearts so they don't die.
Okay,
There's no combat in the game. It's all about like exploration and puzzles and stuff.
That's fair.
Yeah, for families especially, would recommend. Even like for Brendan and I to hang out and play so I don't fight with anybody. Yeah, it'd be good.
So is this out or coming?
Coming. It's not out
Fall
yet.
as well.
What?
Is it fall as well?
Is it? Yeah. And talking to the team behind it, they're just like big old Disney nerds and they're excited.
That's fun.
So that is something I would definitely suggest anybody who likes platforming or, family, do that. Yeah. That's all I got.
All right.
Cool.
Anything else for honorable mentions, my friends?
The churros were delicious.
Yeah. Fair.
I hoarded so many churros that week. So many. Those people just kept bringing them. They were like,
Well,
"Oh, these
exactly. If
people
they're
are
gonna keep
crazy."
bringing them. I'm gonna keep taking them. Like I'm not gonna say
You
no.
took a lot of churros. You
Those
took a
chicken
lot of.
croquettes are
He had like 12 churros.
I need to eat something. I'm hungry.
Yeah, me too.
Let's not do this. Okay, we're coming up on our 2-hour mark, so let's move along. I am going to reveal the results. As we've mentioned, we were lucky enough to get to judge Summer Game Fest this year. So essentially, the 3 of us put our little words together, and essentially what we had to do is choose our 10 most anticipated playable games. our number one most anticipated playable game, and our number one most anticipated indie playable game.
That's kind of cool. Yeah.
We got the results back yesterday. They gave us 15 anticipated playables, so I guess the 10s went into 15s. I'll start with the indie. The most anticipated indie was actually Cocoon.
Oh, yeah, that game looked good.
Really?
I did not play Cocoon, so
I did.
I saw people playing it. It looked okay.
It looked very interesting. My only issue with it was I was hungover and the dev was standing behind me watching me play the whole time.
Yeah, that's
So it
right.
was a little stressful, but yeah, it looks good.
That's pretty much how I feel about all of these. Just that was a little stressful.
That's fair.
That was fine. And then most anticipated playable was Alan Wake 2.
Yep. I mean, technically it was playable.
Did you know that at the time, Brendan?
Nope.
No. So for most of us, Alan Wake 2 was not playable, and we did not know that it could be playable. But
if I knew I could have asked about it, I would have.
Yeah, but I bet you that you probably couldn't have.
Oh yeah,
I
they
would
probably
probably
would've been
put
like,
in that
"No."
was like exclusives for certain people.
Yeah.
I didn't know that it was playable until the last day, and I asked Jeff Keighley, and he was like, "Yeah, and Alan Wake 2." And I was like, "But nobody could play that." He's like, "Oh, you could if you asked." I'm like, "I feel like that's not true." Anyway,
Lovely.
okay.
Cool.
So that was our most anticipated playable, which is also obviously on the most anticipated playable list. From there, we've got Armored Core 6: Fires of Rubicon,
Yep. That's good.
Cocoon, Phantom Liberty,
Hmm?
Disney Illusion Island,
That's fair.
Foam Stars, Lisfanga, Immortals of Avium, Mortal Kombat 1, Oxenfree 2, Prince of Persia, Remnant 2, Sandland, Sonic Superstars, and Viewfinder.
Yeah.
Those are our top 15, which honestly to me sounds like all the games we played.
I mean, yeah. Yeah. it
Yeah,
does.
the only thing I didn't hear in there was Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
Which
Thirsty Suitors is not in there.
I'm surprised Thirsty Suit didn't make that list, to be honest.
What?
I'm surprised it didn't make that list, to be honest.
Yeah. Synced, Power Wash Simulator, Eternites, Under the Waves, Blue Protocol, Islands of Insight. Oh, that's the weird one you played, eh?
I saw. I didn't
Listen,
play it.
yeah. Sorry. Little City Big Kitty.
yeah, that game was fantastic. I
That's
forgot about
amazing.
that. Yeah, that game was amazing.
So there actually is quite a bit on there that
Yeah.
wasn't there. But for the most part, it was a pretty solid showing. I feel like last year, now again, a lot of what I did was Day of the Devs last year,
Yep.
so that could be why. A lot of what I played last year is like just starting to come out now,
Yeah.
or at
Yeah.
least in the last like 6 months or so. Whereas this one, it feels like a lot of things that are coming soon.
Yeah. Yeah. That's very much so.
Like I said, a little to the left. That's been out for a little while, but it took a while. Bear and Breakfast came out, I think, in the fall. I want to say.
Yeah.
I'm dying. Sorry. But like. Right now, Roots of Pasha just came out not too long ago,
Mhm.
and that was part of Day of the Devs last year, and I'm gonna play it on my ally. Anyway, so it seems like there's a lot here, and there's a lot that's coming soon, and that it's big, a lot
Yeah.
of big things. I can't even think of the big games we played last year. Off the top, they exist, obviously. I played Sonic Frontiers.
I can't.
remember
I can't.
that.
I know there was some big games, but I cannot remember.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I have. Street Fighter, stuff like that. So
yeah.
yeah.
Street Fighter, I think, was one of the biggest games at
What?
the show last year.
Was Tekken at the show?
No.
Which
No.
is weird because of the
There's
Tekken
so much Tekken.
area.
Yeah.
Birth is the weird show, or the weird game last year that I really liked.
Okay.
That was like a click and point. I don't even know if that ever came out. I'm gonna have to look that up. That was the game. It's actually like top of the list. It is out.
No.
A little to the left. What do we got? Bear and Breakfast. Well, Roots of Hey, look, guys, it's Day of the Devs. Time flies. Also Day of the Devs. That game was hard. F122, Escape Academy.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's our best of. Okay. Interesting. All of the best of was my Day of the Dev stuff I
That's
bought
fair
for
enough.
last year. Awkward.
Mhm.
But yeah, there was a lot. It was good times. Aliens, Callisto Protocol. Okay, yeah, there was stuff last year.
I don't think that was playable in the show, was it?
Yeah, I think they just announced it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess that doesn't matter right now. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at with that. I don't even remember half these games from that. Goat Simulator 3.
Oh yeah.
That was there last year. Cuphead.
What
Neon
Aliens
White.
game? I'm trying to think.
Hold on, I can go back up.
The top. That was like the RPG one or the like twin stick
Uno
one.
Memento. Aliens, Dark Descent.
Oh, that's the one that's coming out like next week.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah,
Like it was a lot of
okay.
stuff that's Fort Solace. I don't even think a lot of this was playable. I think these are just the announcements. But Cuphead,
Mm.
Neon White, Midnight Fight Express. I don't know what that is. Yeah, I don't know most of these
No.
games. So this year, clearly,
More heavy hitters.
oh, One Piece Odyssey was last year. Yeah,
Okay.
this year, like you could tell the companies were like, oh wait, that's something to pay attention
Yeah.
to. Even us wandering around this past year, we won't talk about who, but we saw people that are like top people for companies coming to like scout
Yep.
Summer Game Fest and see like, is this something we should care about next year? And it is.
100%.
Yeah.
It is. I think it's only going to get bigger, which may get more and more intimidating. Hopefully they like loosen up on the only 2 people rule.
Yeah.
Hopefully
Figure out.
hopefully
There's
they
a-
move away from Skid Row.
I mean,
Mm.
that's LA. LA is Skid Row.
Oh,
Yeah,
lovely.
I feel like that's just where we live now, and it's fine. Yeah, that's it. Do we have anything else to add? Is there one game that you guys are like, when this comes out, it is mine? I will buy it. I will play it. I will whatever.
Alan Wake 2. No.
Fair.
Alan Wake 2, obviously looks. I mean, I'm trying to think of anything else. Like,
Armored
it's
Core look good.
Armored. See, I didn't get to see Armored Core, so.
I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. It existed on the show. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
For Armored Core?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that embargo's actually
Yeah,
up.
the
But
previews are right.
Of the theater demo.
Yeah, what
Yeah,
you
theater.
saw in the theater.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
The theater demo.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Good times had by some. Anyway, that was a long one, guys.
Yeah.
That I think is it for us on our Summer Game Fest play days.
What was the best thing you
Powwow?
ate there?
Pizza was good.
Yeah, that was good pizza.
It was
greasy.
really good pizza for the weird, like, hole in the wall pizza place.
So was it the same pizza that was at like the Niantic place?
No. It
See, I never got to eat the pizza. The line was always like around like
and it took like
all
15
wrapped
minutes to get pizza. So if you had a half hour, you could not get a pizza.
Damn it.
That's funny. Yeah, that's funny. I really liked. So I'm sitting in my my Throne and Liberty appointment and not realizing they're like bringing drinks around and bringing food around. So like I had a little pile of food. They had a sweet chicken croquette that was delicious.
Mm.
So it's your
Was it
churros, right?
Was it the same croquette from Netflix or whatever?
Yeah.
Those were
It's
so
delish.
good.
Those were so good. Was yours
Yeah.
the empanadas?
The empanadas were really good. No, I actually have to say the croquette was really good. And if not, I really like the flan.
Oh,
The flan. The flan was good. You're right.
Yeah.
The flan was good.
Churros okay too.
We sound like dill holes right now, but that's
did.
fine.
The pina colada.
I'm
was
really
delicious.
hungry.
Yeah, I'm so hungry right
Imagine,
now.
like everybody get fancy drinks. I really liked the signature cocktail this year. Last year they were not good.
Yes.
And yeah, the poutine was a bad time, but that's all right. I'm going to close this out now, folks.
Cool.
So that is it for us on our little powwow. You will be able to read a lot about these stories on cgmagonline.com in the coming days. I believe we've got 3 or 4 out already,
Mhm.
and
There's more coming.
interviews galore to come. Those will be later, though, because
Transcribing over very loud background music.
Yeah,
yes,
super great.
yes, absolutely. It's going to be so good. So good. We love our jobs. Stay tuned for more. We will be back Thursday with our next podcast. Brendan, where can people find you?
BFry26 on all the socials.
Justin, do you want people to find you?
Yeah. Oh man, what is it now? I have to remember. It's at _, Justin Wood, because I thought I had to be professional and get rid of pickle thing.
That's true. We
Yes.
appreciate it.
Bet.
I mean, I know people were really excited about your Instagram when I told them what it was. If that counts for anything.
I don't remember what it is.
It's something to do with Final Fantasy.
Oh, Black Mage Justin. Yeah, that's been my username on everything since I was like 9. So.
All right, I support this. You can find me on most socials at the Dana Eileen. I write here on CG Mag and currently a little bit on Boss Little Gamer. That being said, we will see you next week, folks. Bye.